Sup gamers? Welcome back one and all to this very special episode. The first episode of the new year, 2021, of Thoughts Coming Out of the Closet. The wonderful show where I distract myself from how much I'm attracted to men by ranting to you, my loyal fan base. Today, we're gonna be looking at some cringe. You guys like cringe? But not just any cringe. We're gonna be looking at the internet's favorite type of cringe, and that's SJW feminist cringe content. And not just any kind of SJW feminist cringe. We're gonna be looking at SJW feminist cringe on the CW's ARROWVERSE. The CW's very own DC universe, named the ARROWVERSE, or for some reason now it's called the CW-verse since Arrow's over, but I don't think anyone's ever gonna call it the CW-verse because that's just not a good, it's not as catchy. But their little universe has quite a lot of feminist cringe, you know what I mean? I mean, look at it, it's a show about a woman.
Alexa, remind me that I don't need a man and men are useless.
Okay, first of all, men are actually not useless because Benjamin Franklin actually created electricity.
Here's a little clip from the episode of The Flash from season 4. Up until this episode, this show is just expertly written, but this episode is really where things fall apart. I mean, look at this clip.
This is so insane. I can't believe you're gonna be a mom again.
I know. Oh, well, you always wanted a sibling.
And 7 Doctor Who's later, you totally came through.
You a Doctor Who fan, Joni?
Well, ever since he became a lady, I am. Hashtag feminism.
Alright, so this isn't gonna be a shock for, you know, most of my regular viewers, but since this video has a super clickbaity title, I'm hoping that a lot of people just sort of clicked on this not knowing who, you know, the chosen nerd really is. But here's a little hot take for all you dudes out there. Feminism good. So if you're watching this video because you unironically want to see some epic cringe content of feminists, this is a genuine question. Do you know what feminism is, or have you just gotten like your view of the subject from like Ben Shapiro or like Steve Crowder? That's his name, right? Steve Crowder? I don't know, these fucking grifters. The internet, and especially YouTube, would have you believe that feminism is like this evil anti-men movement. You know, the term feminazi is all over the internet, especially in circles talking about comic book related content like Captain Marvel, Supergirl, the Batwoman show, Birds of Prey. This clip I just watched, this clip is cringe, but it's not cringe because it's feminist, right? It's cringe because it's the CW.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on? That's weird.
I want you guys who don't know this, I want you to know, this is not feminism, okay? This is like a corporate perversion of an actual like equal rights movement. A lot of times what happens on the internet is clips like this will begin to circulate. Now this is an older clip, this is an episode from I think 2017, but recently I've been binging all these ARROWVERSE shows during quarantine, and I hate most of them, right? Like most of these shows are just, they're not very good. Even the seasons that are like considered the good ones are still super poorly written. Like it feels more like a soap opera than like a drama or an action show. But they're fun. You know, they're entertaining. I can watch them in the background while I like, I don't know, do homework or write. But it's always these episodes, the ones that focus on women and feminism, that get the most online hate. I can see why. Like this is not a good little bit of dialogue. In fact, it feels super pandering, and obviously it's, you know, trying to be targeted at like a female audience. But the issue with this type of writing is not that it's targeted at a female audience, it's that it feels so phony. And The Flash usually doesn't include this type of political content, and that's usually more of Supergirl's thing. Especially season 1 of Supergirl has a lot of moments like this where it's just the character being like, oh, you think I can't do it because I'm a woman? I can do it because I am strong. I'm a strong woman. And of course that always gravitates a bunch of hate online because, you know, it's super easy to be reactionary to these type of terribly written clips and just be like, you know what, I kind of hate feminism now because of this CW show. But really think about that type of thinking. You know, have some self-reflection when you get into that state of mind. Are you really gonna hate an entire political movement because of a CW superhero show? And not even that. Say you don't like, you're mad about the 2016 Ghostbusters still, or say you're still pissed off that, I don't know, Rey is a underdeveloped character in Star Wars. Really think about this. These shows and movies are all developed by massive corporations and written and directed by super wealthy, privileged people. Do you really think that they are reflective of an equal rights movement? And of course it's easy to go along with your gut reaction to these types of clips, especially when they're consistently peddled by right-wing reactionaries like Ben Shapiro or Steve Crowder. This isn't cringe because it's feminism, it's cringe because it's on the CW, and the CW has shitty writers. When the CW writes any other type of scene, whether it's an argument or some big dramatic reveal of something, or even fight scenes, they're usually written really poorly and choreographed poorly and shot poorly, and everything about it is usually very low quality.
Felicity Smoke. You have failed this omelet.
Really?
Yeah.
So why is it even a surprise that their political content is also really low quality and seems to miss the entire point of movements like feminism? I think one of the biggest issues with shows like Supergirl is that they're not actually feminist. They're just cosplaying as feminist. One of the best examples in Supergirl of how this show is just consistently contradictory to the feminist movement is the character of Cat Grant in season 1. She's the CEO of this massive corporation and also the boss of our protagonist, Supergirl. Cat Grant is a horrible, horrible boss. She's consistently emotionally abusive to all of her employees, whether they're male or female. She constantly is making jokes about how she underpays her employees. But the entirety of season 1 is essentially just Cat Grant being a dickhead and then justifying it by being like, oh, I have to be ruthless because I'm a woman put in this position that is, you know, usually filled in by a male. And this is true in the world of business in real life, as well as in this fictional superhero show. Women in power, just like men in power, often have to act cutthroat. But that's not a good thing. I think we can all agree that it's not good for bosses to be abusive. It's not good for employers to underpay their staff. But the show seems to think that her behavior is justified because of the situation she's in, being a woman in a predominantly male business. I could get behind this type of story. If Cat Grant was supposed to be an antagonistic force for Supergirl, but we had some form of explanation of why she acted this way, that's fine. You know, that's honestly pretty realistic writing. There's plenty of women who are in positions of power, whether it's in politics or business, that have done awful things and have been later justified by this weird corporate version of feminism saying that, oh, well, men in power do this too.
Do you think Margaret Thatcher had girl power?
Yes, of course.
Do you think she effectively utilized girl power by funneling money to illegal paramilitary death squads in Northern Ireland?
I don't know about that.
But the issue with Cat Grant in the show is that the show wants us to agree with her that her behavior is justified because of this. Spoilers for Supergirl Season 1 if you care. At the end of Season 1, Cat Grant and Supergirl, their relationship arc concludes with Cat giving Supergirl a promotion. She gets her own office. She's no longer just a secretary, now she's a reporter. But Cat jokingly says, oh, but you don't get a raise. She says it like as a joke, but like it's not a joke, right? Like Supergirl is not getting a raise even though she has to do more work now and has a higher up position.
And the money won't be much different, or any different, but This is a step up for you, Kira. This is your end of working girl moment. And if you take advantage of it, I really believe that you can change the world.
It's like this big emotional moment that finally Supergirl is being valued for her worth as a worker, not as a human who deserves to get a raise for doing more work. And that's just kind of the end of that relationship in the show, because season 2 starts and Cat Grant is out of the show. And this is kind of my biggest problem with this corporate version of feminism. Its primary purpose is to play identity politics instead of questioning the status quo. When feminism started out, it wasn't just about, you know, women getting positions in power. It was about completely revolutionizing those positions of power and how they operate. And that still, today, is how feminism in the real world operates. Our society at large is a patriarchal one. The status quo that we live in was constructed by men. And I think if you're watching this, we can all agree that there's a lot of issues with the society we live in. And feminism's purpose in the real world is not solely to put women in power into these traditionally male roles. And this has always been really strange to me, how even in the age of like the internet, when we have access to all the information and literature we could ever want, a lot of men my age and below and above, just a lot of men in general, still think that feminism is about putting down men. And if you're using some clip from like a CW show, or you're using random tweets from random like girls on Twitter trying to get clout as like proof that feminism is about hating men, you're doing politics wrong. I don't know how else to tell you. That's not how political discourse works. The entire feminism movement is corrupt because this girl on Twitter tweeted about how she hates men and wishes they would die. I'm very smart. Like, come on, dude. All right, boys. It's time for dude talk, okay? Listen up. Listen up, bros. Let's just have a conversation, dude to dude, okay? I get it. I get we're angry. Life sucks, just in general. Stimulus checks, they're hard to get. And even when you get them, they're not enough. They're not enough. We're mad. The world is mad, and it's filled with mad men. And I'm not talking the TV show. I'm talking real angry men online who like to go on forums about how it's all the women's fault. As a dude, I kind of get it. You know, I get that you want to have you want to have anyone a scapegoat that you can blame. But dudes, listen, a lot of the criticisms I've heard from, you know, people online of the feminism movement is that men have it hard too, you know, and it's just not fair that there's all this attention drawn on the issues of women. A lot of statistics I've seen thrown around all the time in this kind of discourse is that dudes are more likely to die during employment. That's true. We typically work more labor-intensive jobs that are at higher risk of death. Men are also more likely to commit suicide. There's a mental health crisis in America, especially with white men. And these are issues that need to be addressed. But here's the thing, okay? Feminism addresses these issues. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I see a lot of people online saying, hey, I'm a dude, you know? Sometimes I want to cry, but I can't because then I'm not a big, strong man, you know? I want to be a big, strong man. I don't want to cry. Men feel like they're not allowed to cry because you got to be traditionally masculine. And for some reason, this point has turned into like a counterpoint of what these people think feminism is. They somehow think that feminism is just ignoring the issues of male mental illness. And this is not the case at all. When you have so much statistical proof that more than any other group in America, white straight men are the most depressed and most likely to kill themselves. This is not an individual issue. This is clearly a systemic issue. So many men's rights groups and, you know, just male groups online in general seem to blame feminism for this systemic issue. But how does that make any sense? Really think about it. Feminism exists because the systems that we live in are built by men. So if depression is a systemic issue amongst men, how is it feminists' fault? When feminists and women are not the ones who constructed the system that we live in. Feminism, my friends, is all about breaking down that system, you know, reconstructing it from the ground up, completely turning it on its head into something better for not just women, but for everyone. I think us dudes need to realize that movements like feminism are not only there to liberate women, but they're there to liberate men, the oppressors as well. We're all stuck in systems of oppression. Even if you're not a minority, even if you're not a woman, you are still stuck in this system as the oppressor. And at this point in the video, okay, you've either checked out, right, or you're on board for what I'm saying. Because there comes a intellectual gap here, and it requires someone a lot smarter than me to fill this gap, if it's not filled already. If you can't accept that we live in a society that is fueled by racism, that is fueled by misogyny, that is fueled by inequality, then I don't think you're really gonna get what I'm saying here. I don't really expect you guys to, right? Like, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of you clicked on this video are probably kind of pissed right now, if you even made it this far. You're probably like, listen, man, I just wanted to see some cringe. And I gotta ask, why? Really ask yourself why. It's fun, I guess. It's fun to get angry at, you know, content like this that is woke. Get woke, go broke. That's what they all say. That's what great YouTubers like TheQuartering say. I don't know how else to say it except you're wasting your life, man. It's easy. It's just so easy to get mad at this stuff. And I get mad at it too. I get mad at this corporate version of feminism, but I don't get mad at it because I hate feminism. I get mad at it because I am a feminist. And this is not representative of the type of feminism I subscribe to. This is like the J.K. Rowling brand of feminism. This is like the Ellen DeGeneres feminism, right? Like Ellen DeGeneres will like shit on her employee, like literally, like just pull her pants down, take a massive, heaping, steaming dump on her employees who get paid like minimum wage. And then when they like file a lawsuit, she'll be like, you just hate me because I'm a strong gay woman in power. And then like, you know, all the white like women in the audience will clap like, woo, you go girl. Meryl Streep is in the back like doing Gangnam, you know, just going hard, while Ellen DeGeneres is fucking joining in the Gangnam on stage, you know, everyone's clapping. People are tweeting, so brave, you know, that kind of thing. Meanwhile, the minimum wage worker is still in the back cleaning the shit off of them, you know, and he's just like, listen, I just don't want to be shit on. I just don't want to be shit on. And you know what's going to happen to that guy? You know what's going to happen to that guy? He's going to become radicalized. He's going to become a Nazi now because of Ellen DeGeneres. This is... He's going to go online. He's going to say, why is my girl boss is shitting on me? And people online are going to be like, oh, it's because she's a feminist and feminists are entitled. No. It's because she's white and she has power and money. That's why she's entitled. And that's why that she's shitting on you, dude. Don't become some weird ass incel online because you encountered some shitty ass boss who happens to be a girl. Listen, we all have mental illness, right? We all have economic issues. But like, you're not helping yourself by watching like SJW cringe comps. Okay? Like please just see a therapist. Somehow, maybe my insane ramblings convinced you to rethink, reevaluate your views of progressive movements. I urge you to look for left-leaning films outside of the comic book realm, you know, independent film. There's a lot of really great movies that are about racial justice or feminism that aren't super cringe and saying like hashtag feminism. All I'm asking is just don't be so goddamn reactionary when it's the goddamn CW. Like, if you're someone who watched Avengers Endgame and got, like, genuinely pissed off at that, like, girl power moment, right? Like, chill out. It's super pandering, right? And again, it's like that kind of corporatized version of feminism. It doesn't even really make sense how all the women in this entire battle all suddenly were in one spot on this massive battlefield, right? But, like, also that movie and the Marvel Universe in general, a lot of it doesn't make sense. So at the end of the day, like, who fucking cares? That movie is 90% fan service run by a corporation. Why are you only getting mad at this scene that is also fan service, but for a different demographic of the audience? Reevaluate why scenes like that actually piss you off. Reevaluate why cringy ass, hashtag feminist dialogue from The Flash or Supergirl. Reevaluate why that makes you mad. Is it really because you hate feminism? Or is it because these are shows and movies written by old, out-of-touch white men who are, just trying to make a profit, and they realize that co-opting progressive movements is a really good way at making profits?
Barack Obama, it will almost be an honor to kill you. You will not escape. Grodd will complete his mission. Time to make America Grodd again.